Okay, let's talk about making enemies. I want you to make an enemy. Sound good? All right. I'll tell you, we went to France about 2 years ago now, and we were there for 3 months, and we didn't make a single friend. Didn't make a single friend. Spoke to people. We didn't speak French. And I was looking back thinking, why didn't we make any friends? And I thought, how do you make friends? Well, you often make friends through the kids at work. Well, we didn't do that. Our kids weren't, young kids, you make friends with other people with young kids, but our kids were teenagers. I wasn't working there. I didn't speak the language. There was no hardship or anything that we were doing together. We didn't face any hardships in the 3 months we were there. And so often I was thinking about, how do you make friends? Well, you make friends through all those type of things. My grandfather made lifelong friends with his bomber. He was in a bomber squadron, and his bomber squadron, they talk all the time. They're great friends. So you make great friends when you have often a common adversary, someone where you're fighting together against. And it's a really useful tool when you're marketing and trying to bond and get rapport with your audience, to form a common enemy that you can fight with your audience against. Now, it doesn't have to be a person, it might be a thing. It might be rising construction costs, or McMansion architects, or anything. I give a few examples. There's an article. If you type in "join with me," Sienna, the content queen, will send you a full article I wrote about this topic, about creating enemies. But if you can create an enemy, then you're far more likely to bond with your audience, or get them to bond. Now, the most commented on and most popular, it was the most commented on and the most read, and the best blog I've ever done was one called The Silent War. And in fact, if you go to the private Facebook group and type Silent War, you'll see it. It's worth reading it, because I deliberately wrote this article to form an enemy, the enemy to architects. And the whole article is about joining with me to fight these enemies that architects have. And if you read the Silent War article, I believe you could take that article and you could adapt it when you create your own enemy with your target market. You could take that Silent War and use it as a kind of a blueprint for writing your own sort of call to arms against something evil that you will help clients fight against. So have a think about, if you don't have an enemy. So the reason we didn't make any friends in France is we had no reason to bond us with the locals. If we'd been there during COVID and I was out administering vaccines or something like that, and I was fighting the evil COVID-19, then we probably would have made friends, even if we didn't speak English. If I joined the tennis club, we probably would have made friends. But because I didn't do any of those things, we didn't face any common enemies with the locals. There was no reason for any of us to bond together. We enjoyed our time and had a great time. But you need an enemy. You need to create some sort of fight. So if you want your marketing message when you're communicating to pack more punch, then create an enemy. All right, so go and read that article. I think it'll help you. If, by the way, if you're not a Six member as well, let Sienna know when she sends you that article. Let her know, and she can talk you through any other questions that you need to answer. And she might, if you're lucky, share some additional resources that will specifically answer those questions on your journey to Sunshine Island, or on your journey to winning better projects. So have a chat with Sienna if you have any other questions. She does have a bag full of tricks that she can share. Anyway, that's my thought for the day, is go out and create yourself a nice enemy.